Today I'm going to be sharing with you 4 of the best core strengthening exercises for horse riders. And this is going to be the hips edition. Now, your core is made up of your trunk and spine, your shoulders, and your hips. So there's a lot of muscles that we can cover in there. So today we're specifically going to cover 4 of what I think the best exercises are for your hips. Your hips make up a massive part of your core and are responsible for a lot of things you're going to be doing when you ride. So for this exercise routine, we are going to need a cable machine. So this is going to be done at the gym. All you're going to need for this workout is going to be a handle and a cable machine that moves up and down. So let's get right into it. We're going to be starting off with hip flexion. Hip flexion is your hip moving forward in space. You're going to place your foot in the strap. I want you to find something to grab onto. So this can be the machine itself, or you can find something else in the gym that you can move towards you and hold on to it. Because we're going to be trying to build our strength, so I don't want to have to worry about trying to juggle my body weight and hold myself still. I want something to hold on to so that I don't have to worry about that part of it. This exercise is going to start with me stabilizing myself by holding tight, engaging my core, and then slowly bringing this hip forward. Once I get to about 30 degrees, a 30-degree angle here, I'm going to slowly let it lengthen back until I start to get a nice stretch in my hip flexor, and then I'm going to pull it forward. I'm keeping this under control. If I end up moving too fast, we're not going to get the same type of workout that we want, because we really want to strengthen these muscles and not just throw this weight around. Again, keeping everything nice and still, squeezing your abdominals, slowly moving this hip. You should be feeling this in your hip flexors. They're right up front here in the hip as I'm slowly going through this. This is the tempo you should be going through. So that's going to be the first one, hip flexion. And if you're starting off with this, for all of these exercises, you can be doing 8 to 12 reps. So finding a weight that's challenging within there. But first, I recommend just getting these exercises down. The second one is going to be hip extension. Again, I'm going to place my foot inside here. This time I'm going to be facing the machine. You're going to have something to hold on to. I'm going to use the machine to hold on to. And we're going to do the same motion, but this time I'm pushing back away from me. Now, as I'm doing this, again, I'm bracing here, holding tight so that nothing is moving here. And I can really focus on squeezing my glutes and my hamstrings here. These are going to be the 2 major players in moving this leg backwards into hip extension. Now, as I get towards, as I move farther away from me, I notice things get tight right about here. And this is where I finish my range of motion. And I could push it back farther if I wanted to cheat and arch my back and get it back there. But that's not what we're doing. This is not a lower back exercise. This is a hip strengthening exercise, more specifically your glutes and your hamstrings. So we want to make sure we're only pushing our leg back, being aware when our back wants to start to arch to help out. So we don't want that. Again, nice and controlled. Hip is going back behind you, squeezing your glute, squeezing your hamstrings, and really engaging your core the entire time to stabilize you. Because if you're not stable, you're going to be moving around. And we want to make sure we can increase the amount of output that's going to the specific muscles we want to. So when we keep everything else still, we can focus on that and do that. Next is going to be hip abduction. Abduction is your hip pushing out to the side. So that's how you get on your horse. And you need to be able to be strong here while you're riding. I'm going to put this around my ankle here. The machine is going to be away from my leg. It's going to be towards my other leg. Again, finding something to hold on tight here, getting my leg up, bracing, slowly pushing out to the side. We're going to think about that same rule of 30. If my hip angle is more than 45 or 45 and more, most likely you're not using your hip as much anymore, and you start to bring in a bend in your side to get it up. So this should look like slowly bringing it out to the side. That's where I finish, and then controlling it in. Everything's braced here. You'll get tired of me saying that, but it's important. And I'm squeezing the side of my hip to slowly bring my leg across and then slowly control it in. Again, you control the weight doesn't control you. That is hip abduction, and then we would flip that around to the other side, and we're gonna do hip adduction, ADD-duction. And the easiest way to think about that, hip adduction, is just adding your leg to your body. So before we pushed out to the side, this time we're gonna be pulling into our body. We're going to be adding it to our body. Setup is the same. Engage your core, hold on to something, get in a very solid position here. I'm slowly gonna bring my leg out to about 30 degrees, and then I'm gonna pull it back across. Now I need to adjust myself because I was a little bit too close to that cable. Slowly out to the side, pause. This time I'm squeezing my inner thighs to bring this cable across. And for most people, your leg is not going to go too far past your other leg that's on the ground. You want to be really aware that as you come across, you're not rotating to try to get more. Everything stays here. Again, remember, nothing moves here. Nothing moves on that foot that's on the ground. Nothing moves on. I like to think about holding, I don't like to think about it. I like to actually hold my pelvis here, and I like to make sure that I'm not rotating and pushing into here. So this is a good way for me to stay aware of what my pelvis is doing through this hip adduction. So that was 4 of the best core strengthening exercises I have for you specifically for the hips. You can do that 8 to 12 times, meaning 8 to 12 reps for each one of those, and then you can repeat that series of 4. You can repeat that 2 to 3 times. So that would be 2 to 3 sets of 8 to 12 reps total. Make sure that you get the skill down first. You're moving and staying in control before you start adding any more weight. So really get the control and the skill of it, bracing your core, and then you can start adding intensity. It's going to help you ride better. It's going to help you have better endurance. So use this at the gym. Let me know if you have any questions about any of these exercises down in the comments below, as well as letting me know what other types of workouts you'd like to see, what other types of exercise you would like to see, any other topics that are involved with horse-related fitness for yourself, making you a better rider, because that is my goal, to help you get the most out of yourself so you can get the most out of your horse. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you want to continue to become the best rider you can be for as long as possible, make sure you subscribe to my channel. I'm going to continue to put out videos and allowing you to get the most out of your body so you can get the most out of your horse.